Welcome to today's tiny tale session. This tale is not tinier like the former ones, but it is intriguing for it involves paradoxes in the timelines. So let's start reading it. An assignment paradox from the future. I posted a letter today and guess who did I address it to? I mailed it to myself, to the younger me. Now that I know, I should not have replied to that text on the day. A single text changed my life and turned it into a sad tale. I wrote to myself not to hold back my dreams and never to compromise them for another person. If not for that person, I wouldn't have had to struggle so much. My future would have been a different future. The rules for the assignment were clear. I should write a letter to myself, but nothing in it should state the identity of the person writing the letter. In short, it should not indicate that it is me communicating from the future. It was both an experiment and a way to test if they could alter the future while trying not to give rise to any paradoxes. I submitted it and waited for the professor to find faults with it. It had always been my weakness that I expect half the things to go wrong with me. But this is also the quality that makes me more cautious while executing any task. The professor did not find any paradoxes because I had cleverly addressed the letter, stating my exact identity, yet making it look normal. I will be receiving this letter from a new you waiting to happen. I then sat thinking, if I am posting this letter and I did get it in my past, why don't have any recollection of reading it? It made me curious. So I spoke to our technician from the time travel department. So I have a question, said I hesitantly. Yes, tell me. He stared at my badge and added, 1145, right? What is your request? I was stunned. I hadn't opened my mouth yet, but the technician knew I was going to request. He winked at me and said, you forget, I'm always watching past, present, and future here, he said, pointing to the portal. I could see nothing because I was not wearing the headband the technician wore. I want to see what happened to this letter. I am posting to myself 10 years ago. Why don't have I any recollection of reading it? I blurted out. Sure, let's watch it together. Give me the letter. I will send it to you first, he said. I was given another headband and I sat watching. 2 decades ago, electronic mail had taken preference and traditional mails were ignored. I saw the postman came and delivered the letter into our postbox and left. We watched it at a faster pace to check if anyone would open the mailbox and check the letter. That's when my grandpa came and took all the letters into the house. Once inside, he checked every one of them and threw the letter I had written into the dustbin while muttering, these days only ads come in mails. I miss the good old days when friends used to mail each other than text instantly. He sighed and went inside. I did not want to see any more, but I sat through to watch it. It was quite embarrassing if you ask me. So the letter read, dear reader, I wish I could tell you that it ends well for you. It began. Shrivani started shivering at the opening lines of the letter. It was an unusual mail, not like the advertisement you find. There was no from address. It said, from a new you waiting to happen. And it intrigued her because it was not addressed to Shrivani, but said, to She Voice, the anonymous name that she used to blog. She had kept the identity secret from everyone. How did anybody even know it was her? And the strangest piece of coincidence was it was in the dustbin. She had picked it only because of the way it was addressed with her blogger identity. She mustered courage and began reading. I mean to tell you, please do not reply to any texts from strangers. I am your guiding beacon with a message. I have an important message to deliver to you. You are not weak. You have the strength in you to achieve everything you aspire. Be the shoulder you seek. Be the strength you launch to acquire. Trust your instincts and never feel weak. Most importantly, never compromise on your dreams for any person. Shrivani was relieved. Her heart, which was palpitating when she read the opening sentence, had gradually tranquilized by the time she finished reading the letter. She laughed at herself for getting anxious about some stupid letter with some advice in it. It intrigued her as to who might have written such a letter. It must be from someone from my family. Or is there a person who is secretly researching about me? This thought gave her a thrill. Soon she had forgotten all about the letter. She had opened her messenger and was chatting with her friends when an unknown person messaged her. Hi, did you get it? Shrivani usually ignored messages from strangers because of the strange letter. But since the letter mentioned that she does not reply, she wanted to know if the stranger was the person who sent the letter. She meant to ask this person directly who the person was and why he or she sent the letter. So she replied to the chat. What did you send me? A message, came the reply. May I know why did you send such a message? And how did you know the address? Why did you address it that way? She flooded the stranger with questions. Relax, one at a time, please, came the reply. This chat continued, and soon the stranger had become her friend. The lab technician removed the head gadget and smiled at 1145. Now, do you see how you triggered the very event you wanted to avoid? It is a typical example of predestination paradox. 1145 or Shrivani was thinking about how convinced she was that the letter was from a secret admirer and mistook it to be the stranger who texted her. Even stranger was the way her memory never recollected reading the piece of writing she had written. How stupid of me, she thought to herself. How did you find this tale? Write it in the comments for me. Tomorrow, don't forget to listen to the second part of episode 4 of Alienated in an Ancient Land. See you all tomorrow then.